It always puts a smile on my face when I read those stories out of Vegas when the sports books have had a bad day or a bad weekend or a bad month. And a week ago today, that's exactly the story that we were getting from the Strip, because Nevada's sports books reportedly lost a collective $4 to $5 million in NFL action last Sunday. Well, what's the story we have today, a week later? Well, the sports books turned right around, and all that money they lost the week prior, they made back yesterday. Listen, guys, this should not be a surprise, because at the end of the day, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, at the end of the season, you pick it, the sports books are going to make money. That's how it always plays out. Now, yesterday, no ifs, ands, or buts, a game that killed just about everybody, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Listen, a number of the handicappers here at the site had that game. I handicapped that game every which way from Sunday, okay? I looked at it. I was going to use the Steelers as a free play, but something told me, stay away. Just stay away from that game, because even though the Ravens look so awful, you know when the Ravens and Steelers meet, something happens. And suddenly, a Steelers team that set a franchise record with 30 points in 6 straight games, Ben Roethlisberger just going crazy in that 6-game stretch, what happens? They lose the game outright. Then you had the Carolina Panthers. It wasn't the fact that they got knocked from the ranks of the unbeaten, although that certainly hurt a lot of future players with the undefeated season on the line. It's not even the fact that they failed to cover the game because they lost outright as a 6.5-point favorite. It's the fact that they lost the game outright, period. That's what hurt everybody, because everybody using Carolina in a teaser. Listen, I gave you the Panthers yesterday as a free play, and I had a light bulb moment, I'd like to call it, at the end of that video report where suddenly it dawned on me, tease Carolina along with Minnesota, because didn't I say the Panthers simply weren't going to lose that game? And that proves to you that the next time I have a light bulb moment, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and I'm going to turn the light switch off. I don't need any more of those moments. That was a killer yesterday. Seattle, another free pick I gave you yesterday. Boy, I really sucked with the free picks yesterday after 5.5 months of winning them, right? Seattle, the double-digit favorite, you tell me. Russell Wilson, 19 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions the previous, 5 games or so. The team had won 7 out of 8. They had averaged like 32 points a game the past 5, and they lose for the second time this season to St. Louis? Go figure. Oh, no, actually, you can't go figure that game, because you got to still be scratching your head wondering, what was Bill Belichick thinking? Another game that cost people money. So again, when you read those stories, you got to chuckle just like me about the sports books losing money, because, they might lose it for a day, maybe for a weekend, but at the end of whatever, they always are flowing in the cash. Listen, I've got 2 free selections for you, one in the NBA, one in college hoops, coming up here in just a moment. I'll tell you what I'm most proud of yesterday is the fact, and just, being greedy here, focusing entirely on myself, is the fact that I avoided all the trap games on yesterday's card, and instead just decided Arizona was just simply too cheap against an overrated Green Bay team. And I used them as my best bet yesterday, and I got to tell you, I've actually won 2 straight days. That hasn't happened in a couple of weeks. Trust me on that one. So I was very proud of myself yesterday. But hey, listen, another guy that won last night and was also on the Cardinals happened to be Shawn Michaels, the winningest NFL handicapper here at the site. He had a 100-dime play last night on the Cardinals. And today he has his 100-dime AFC lock of the year on the Bengals-Broncos clash. He is now 60, 36, and 3. 60 wins, 36 losses, and 3 pushes over the past 6 years with NFL 100-dime releases. You got yesterday's at over half price off. Same thing today, over half price off from the guy who has won or made $10 bettors, I should say, over 23 grand the past 3 years. That's 23 grand the past 6 years in football. And you can get it for over half price off simply by using coupon code Sean100. And all the other discounts, all the other coupons, etc. are over on the homepage. Let's get to your complimentary plays. So the Cleveland Cavaliers had a Christmas hangover. That's the best thing I can possibly say as to what happened to that game with them at Portland the day after Christmas. Of course, on Christmas Day, they played their hearts out and fell by 6 at Golden State, okay? The very next night, Damian Lillard out for Portland. And Trailblazers are in a rebuilding year. They demolished the Cleveland Cavaliers. They demolished them. I mean, it was so bad that LeBron James only played like 25 minutes in the game. The final score, 105-76. 105-76. Thankfully, even though this is a stretch of 4 road games in a 5-day stretch, thankfully, Cavaliers had a day off, and now they hit the floor tonight. And you couldn't ask for anything better than a visit to the Phoenix Suns, the dysfunctional Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns team that, you know the deal with Morris getting suspended for throwing the towel at Jeff Hornacek, the team that in the first game of the 2-game suspension, the Suns issued Morris, lost to Philadelphia by double digits the other night, laying double digits, and that's a Philadelphia team that now has 2 wins on the season. This is the same Phoenix Suns that yesterday fired Jeff Hornacek's 2 top assistants. One guy had 9 years experience, one guy had 8 years experience. They promoted 2 back assistants, guys that were also assistants to Hornacek on his staff, but not the main 2. These guys are both rookies, both raw in terms of experience. But when the team fires your top 2 assistants, that doesn't make you feel good, even though you have a guaranteed contract that expires at the end of this year. And that's the situation that Hornacek is in. And just to add and compound the Suns' misery, one of their 2 top players, Eric Bledsoe, knee injury in the 76ers game. He's now out after undergoing surgery. And you got the Cleveland Cavaliers coming to town tonight. Now, Kyrie Irving, who just returned from action, did not play in the game at Portland. He is expected to be back tonight. I think it's fair to say that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be out to rebound in a big way here tonight. And since they're 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 and 1 days rest, I'm going to go with them here tonight and lay the 9 points at Phoenix. The other complimentary play comes in college basketball. The California Golden Bears in their last game visited Charlottesville, Virginia. They took on the Cavaliers. They were up 11 points in the second quarter, and they choked. They gave up the entire lead. Forced overtime, Virginia did. Then California took a 6-point lead in OT, and they ended up still losing the game by 1 point. Snapped their 5-game winning streak. Now, California has a lot of young, raw talent, but it just hasn't meshed here, especially on the offensive side. But I think it will here tonight when they host Davidson. Now, the Davidson Wildcats, remember last year when they made their debut in the Atlantic 10? If you followed me last year, I rode Davidson relentlessly. Straight up picks here on the video report as free selections. Used them so many times, I think 8 times, last year as a premium play. I had 7 of those 8. But Davidson is not in my wheelhouse this year because this is not nearly as good of a Davidson team as a year ago. The Wildcats put a lot of points on the board. Problem is, defensively, I just don't see them getting the job done, and that has been a season-long problem so far. Their 2 biggest road games this season, they lost by 33 points at North Carolina, and then in a neutral court, they got hammered by 25 by Pittsburgh. They average 83.9 points a game. So they're still doing what they did a year ago, but the problem is on defense, they're giving up 79 points a game. There's like 337 Division 1A teams, and they're like ranked around 310 in terms of points per game allowed. So I think this is a great opportunity for California tonight to rebound. Some space and some time has been passed since they lost at Virginia. They're a 10-point favorite tonight in Berkeley. They are a very strong rebounding team, one of the top 40 teams in the nation when it comes to hitting the rack hard, averaging about 42 rebounds a game. Davidson is not a good team on the glass. Don't have a lot of height. And listen, Davidson needs to at least hold its own on the board in order to get the transition game going. But tonight, California, with that stable of young, athletic guys on its roster, they will be more than willing to run with Davidson. So that makes me think that the Golden Bears will easily cover the 10-point number here. Wouldn't be surprised if they win it by 16 to 17 points. By the way, the Wildcats, that's Davidson, they're also 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 non-conference tilts. Now, of the 2 free selections, I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are the closest thing to a lock. In fact, I was going to use Cleveland as my best bet tonight instead of coming, which I ultimately did with a 15-dime play, my third in 3 days, fingers crossed, on the game between the Broncos and the Bengals. FYI, I just wanted to pass on something else to you tonight. A little bit of a heads up, but of course it's a confusing heads up. Shawn Michaels, he of course is on tonight's game. Scott Delaney on tonight's game as well. They each have 100-dime releases. They are on the opposite side of tonight's game. Delaney going for his 100-dime NFL winner number 3 out of 4, following his 50-dime NFL winner yesterday when you got his total of the year, with Pittsburgh and Baltimore staying under the posted price as the 777 play of the day. So I just wanted to pass that on to you. Well, that'll do it, guys. Best of luck to you all. We've got a lot of college bowl action here the next couple of days. I'll be on bright and early each one of them with my video reports, since we have a number of games starting in the early afternoon. Good luck tonight with the Broncos and Bengals. Hopefully it'll be a Monday night game that we'll actually enjoy from a fan's perspective as well. And I'll catch you again on Tuesday when we do this one more time. Good luck, everybody.